Welcome into the PHNX Sun Devils postgame show brought to you by the one and only DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook app at just $1 on any NFL game. And if either team in that game scores a point, you get $100 in free bets this week at DraftKings. When a team scores, you score. Sign up using that promo code PHNX. Sun Devils lose this one to Loyola-Chicago 77-59. They dropped to 2-4 on the year, or 2-5 on the year, and just not looking very good. Now is their fourth straight loss, coming at a very bad time, ending the Battle for Atlantis winless. Not a lot to talk about. We'll keep this short, but that was not fun.
That was a terrible game. Absolutely terrible. Like I expected way more after last night. Last night I feel like last night I had no expectations, and the night I had expectations, I didn't even take my own advice. I said like 5 hours ago.
Yeah, there was. I mean, look, silver lining. They ran into two hot teams in a row. Loyola-Chicago should not have been in that 8th place, 7th place game. This team was expected to play really well this year. I mean, they played Michigan State close, and just they're a better team than what they've been showing in this tournament. They shot 50% from the field and 46% from the 3-point line, led by Hudson, who had 26 points from 9 for 13 shooting. It's just another hot team the Devils run into. They couldn't score the ball as well as they were scoring yesterday.
No.
But
they got forced into playing somebody else's game instead of bullying them into playing their game.
Yeah, the press itself wasn't working tonight either. There's some weird stuff going on where they weren't in the right positions. It was just one of the easiest presses I've ever seen to break. Where do you go from here? Well,
that's a great question. There's a lot of places you can go. Hopefully not down, though.
Yeah. Bright spots. DJ Horn was pretty good again. Jay Heath was the leading scorer for the Sun Devils with 16 points, was 5 for 8 from the field, including a 3 and 5 for 5 from the free throw line. The Devils were a little bit better from the free throw line tonight, missing some crucial ones in the first half, but finished at 84%, shooting 16 of 19 from the line. If you look at the box score and you kind of break down the score compared with the stats, it's a little bit confusing. 40% isn't that bad from the field. But then you look at the rebounding, 33-24, the Devils lose -9 in the rebounding category. And this is the biggest stat for me. ASU only had 5 assists on the game tonight compared to Loyola-Chicago's 20. Turnovers were relatively the same, 12-11. Fouls were exactly the same, 19-19, including a technical from Marion Jackson, which was, I don't know, you see some fight, you see some dogged in energy from him. He was pretty good tonight. Not the best shooting splits, only 3 for 8. Had some pretty good passes, only 2 assists, 8 points total. But just
the whole game overall just was so disappointing. Like, so the box score tonight, last night we talked about the box score and not doing it justice in terms of how hard the guys played out there. Tonight, I don't feel like it does it justice for how shitty they just looked. And granted, I'm sure they're tired and stuff, but so was everyone else who played in this tournament.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of places that this team can go, though. You know, I've been preaching the hottest team in college basketball always wins. They find their stride in Pac-12 play. Everything can turn around. There's some bright spots. I mean, Jalen Graham, I tweeted, he does 1 to 2 things offensively each game where you're kind of like, wow, there's a lot of raw talent with him. But at the same time, the decision-making and the turnovers, he had a play where he almost had 3 back-to-back blocks, and it just ended up in 2, and then they ended up scoring. But the big play hasn't been great. Enoch was okay again tonight. Defensively, he left a lot to be desired. Pretty good rebounding from him. He had another nice putback. You get one of those a game from him. He finished with 9 points and only 2 rebounds, but a lot of physical play. He was 3 for 3 from the field, 3 for 3 from the free throw line with an and 1.
I mean, he looked like he was getting a little bit more comfortable out there tonight in terms of being on the court and playing in a college atmosphere at least. So that was good. But again, same thing we kind of talked about yesterday. It's hard. At least I'm in the boat you were in yesterday, where it's hard for me to look at this and have any good takeaways after this game.
Yeah. They have some tests coming up. Hopefully they can get right before they play Washington State. And that's just going to be a big test. That's on December 1st at 5:30. They're at home, so I mean, hopefully that helps a little bit, get some momentum. Maybe the current distraction can lead
The
to
only thing
something.
that makes me feel better is knowing that the rest of the Pac-12 in terms of basketball, besides UCLA and U of A, kind of suck just like football right now. At least it seems like it. So
Yeah, Washington State is undefeated, only playing some lower level teams. They beat University of Seattle, UCSB, Idaho, Winthrop, and now they play Eastern Washington tomorrow at 5:30 on Pac-12 Network. So most likely they'll be going into this game 6-0, looking for the 7th win against what should be their real test against an ASU team that I'm gonna keep saying it, man. They are talented as hell. And they just need to get right. They just need to get right. At the end of the
they
day,
do.
they can get right.
And I mean, I'm sure getting back to Tempe, getting to work together, all of that stuff, it's going to help. But it's so frustrating right now at this point to just sit here. And again, I guess 3 out of the last 4 nights be saying, like, they're just not doing the job. They're not doing what they need to do. They're not getting things done. And it's like, God, now, like, I know how some of these people who cover really, really terrible football teams have been feeling all year long.
Yeah. The difference with this team is this team isn't hopeless. There is a lot of hope surrounding this team with how much talent is on the roster. Low Tone Capone says maybe this is another scenario where the Devils tore it up in non-conference but couldn't get right when Pac-12 play again, except reverse. That's exactly what I'm thinking.
I mean, I would rather have it this way.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, you got to get hot at the right time. So hopefully that is the case. Well, that brings me to the lyric of the game. As I was saying, they just need to get right. The lyric of the game brought to you by myself singing out of a mic. Lyric of the game comes from Kendrick Lamar. The song "All Right." We gonna be all right. Hopefully that holds true. I'm praying on that because that's the only help that this ASU team, or the only hope that this ASU team has, is to figure it out before Pac-12 play begins, which is technically on December 1st. But then they have
That's technically like 5 days away. Isn't that kind
yeah,
of concerning?
yeah, but then they play Oregon, and then they go to GC. Or they are at home against GCU, and then they go to Creighton, and then San Francisco, and Florida Atlantic. So there's some not gimme games, but there's some easier games before
Yeah, it does
Pac-12 play
let up a
really
little
kicks off.
bit, but
Because then right after those games, you have at USC, who's number 24 right now, at UCLA, who's number 2, and then at home against U of A, who's number 17. So
nope,
yeah.
do not like any of those at all.
Those games are on December 30th, January 1st, and January 8th, in that order. So, yeah, you got to get right by the end of the month. Devils have to have a hot December for sure.
I feel like my hair's on fire thinking about that.
Yeah, it's not great. Anything else stand out to you, Britt, tonight?
Nothing outside from the same issues that they've been having.
Yep, not defending the 3 well was again more like Matt said. Yes, not defending the 3 well was again a huge problem.
Terrible. Yeah, they were really bad at that, especially in the beginning. And I think the biggest disappointment for me was really the second half collapse. I mean, in the first half they were at least still in the game. Second half they just came out literally immediately out of halftime and just shit the bed.
This is the second game in a row where ASU gave up a career high to the opposing team's center. Jacob Hudson had 26 points tonight, mostly got it done from, I believe he got it mostly from deep, but it was just, I mean, it seemed like every single shot he took was going in against this Sun Devils team, and just deflating shots too. The ASU would go on a run, and then he did a 3 ball. He was 3 for 3 from the 3-point line. As I said, 9 of 13 overall, 26 points, 5 rebounds, and a block.
Why can none of ASU's guys can shoot like that, but everyone who plays ASU can shoot like that?
They've run into some hot teams, Britt. That's for sure. The last couple games, as I said yesterday, putting up 86 points against Syracuse should be able to get you a win, and that was not even close to the case. So, yeah, disappointing in that aspect. Things you can't control, but there are many things you can control, and that starts on the defensive end. Tonight, they weren't great on defense, obviously, as we stated. Lots of open jumpers. Loyola-Chicago's field goal percentage did not help that case. But again, the zone that they can't set up, or the zone press, the diamond that they can't set up, the running in transition that they can't get, they cannot figure out how to control the pace of the game, and that is such a big part of winning games against better opponents.
We talked about that before a couple times. I mean, in terms of just being able to push their pace, make guys play their game, bully them into not being able to push them where they want them to go. And they just did not do that again tonight.
ASU this year for bettors has not been good. If you took them, I think they've only covered one spread, and that was against San Diego State when they were the underdog.
They have played very poorly in terms of that.
So if you are betting on college basketball, I'd stay away from ASU for a little bit at least. It's Anger Grimm says, is ASU going to fire both basketball and football's head coaches in the same year? It is likely. It is possible and likely.
Actually, you know what? If Ray Anderson is still here at the end of the year, this year, I think Bobby Hurley quits.
Yeah.
So I don't think there's going to be a firing.
So my advice, don't bet on ASU until they figure some stuff out, but you can bet on other things on the DraftKings Sportsbook app. This week at the DraftKings Sportsbook app, you can download it and sign up using that promo code PHNX. You can get $100 in free bets if you bet on just $1 on an NFL team and in an NFL game, and if either team in that game scores a point, you score, get $100 in free bets this week at the DraftKings Sportsbook app. It's safe, it's secure, it's reliable. Most of all, it's fun, people. It adds some excitement to games that you otherwise wouldn't be excited for. If ASU's ever getting blown out, I like to take the other team's live spread. So if they keep getting blown out, it makes me at least a little happy. Why is Graham still putting up threes? Yeah, we saw his range extend a little bit to 15.
It's gotten better, but I mean, I just feel like he's still not fully back from his COVID stuff too. I mean, we all know COVID does take an impact on your body when you're sick. I think he's still feeling a little bit of the residual effects.
Yeah, if I could bet on him to not take any more threes, I would. But there are other things you can bet on the DraftKings Sportsbook app. That's 21 plus, Arizona only, gambling problem. Go on next step. New customers only. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for more details. Yeah, Low Uncle Pone, we saw his range extend a little bit at the start of the year. He hit a couple mid-range jumpers that I was kind of fine with, and that could be really dangerous if he can hit those consistently. I also see Gaffney taking a lot of threes. We've seen him make a couple of them, but that's just not something you need from an offensive standpoint when you have so many damn shooters on this team. DJ Horn, Marion Jackson, Jay Heath are more than capable of carrying the load from the three-point line. So that's something I don't need. When you're playing a team that plays a zone like Syracuse, Jalen Graham's jumper from the free throw line is huge, but they didn't even use that much yesterday. So yeah, I don't want him taking threes right now, but if he can show some consistency in that, then maybe moving forward it'll open up. But other than that,
if he can show consistency, it would be nice. But otherwise, it's just another player out there on a team that lives and dies by the three that just contributes to the overall number, making the statistic worse.
Yep. As we said earlier, guys, December 1st technically kicks off Pac-12 play at home against Washington State at 5:30. We'll be coming to you live right after that game. Also, we'll be coming to you live right after the U of A ASU game tomorrow. Sun Devils lose this one to Loyola-Chicago 77-59, lose their fourth straight, fall to 2-5 on the year. And yeah, just not very good. So, if you guys have any questions, hit us in the comments. 50% shooting free throw line as well. Yeah, it's not good. If you guys have any questions, shoot us some questions in the comments or on the Discord. We are always open to talk. Even if the team isn't playing well, I'm more than happy to let you know how I'm feeling. Right now, I'm still not hitting the eject button. I've hit the panic button. I haven't hit the eject button. I'm still bought in on the talent that this team has. But yeah. Thanks again, guys. It was a short one today. Not much to talk about after the third straight Sun Devil game in 3 days and their fourth straight loss. So, well, I'm by myself now. Guys, it was fun. We will see you tomorrow after the game at 2 p.m. Thanks again for joining us, and peace.